Hello everyone, Gliderman here. So we're back today, and today we're looking at a program called Allegro Sprite Editor, or ASEPRITE for short, or ASE for short, or whatever. And it's pretty nifty, and it's a sprite editor that allows you to do painting of images for games or animations, with support for doing and drawing multiple frames. So, I'm running an older version than the most up-to-date. Version 1.0 is out. There's a 14-day free trial, or it's $10 to buy it. And that's the most up-to-date version and that kind of stuff. And I'm using an older version that worked on my computer that's completely free, because everything past before 1.0 is free. So let's get right into it. Up here you can see we've got a file menu, and without clicking it automatically opens it. And I'm just going to click on new. We're going to have the background be transparent, so you can choose what you want the background to automatically be. We'll make a simple width of 100, and we'll make a height of 100 as well. And then we're just going to click OK. So here we've got our sprite there. So, in order to start drawing, you probably want to zoom in, as this is a pixel-by-pixel editor. So, using 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, up to 6, and including 6, are basically zoom levels. And you can see with 6, the pixels are pretty dang big. So, we're just going to zoom into 3 here, and you can see in the lower left the position of the cursor, and also the size, and you also see that there's a frame 1. That's due to the animation portion. So on the right here we've got a rectangular selection, or a bunch of other different selects. It looks like there's even a magic wand, which is basically instant alpha. We've got a spray can, a pencil, and multiple different eraser, eyedroppers, and that kind of stuff. Paint bucket, different types of lines, squares and circles, contour, which is a little bit weird, but I won't be really covering this. The blur tool and the jumble tool are really cool. And I'm going to show them to you now. So we're going to do a basic thing where we're using the line, and I'm going to press minus to shrink the brush size, or shift plus to enlarge it. And then I'm going to go, and I'm going to select from one of the colors over here. How about that one? And then I'm going to go from here, and then I can click and drag, and this will draw a line on a pixel by pixel basis. And you can see without anti-aliasing, which I'm not quite sure if it supports, you can see that it's kind of rough of a line. Pressing shift allows you to lock it. Looks like it has a 30 degree and a 45, along with the standard 90. So anyway, I'm just going to drag up here to right about there, and then drag from there all the way back down to the bottom. And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to use the paint bucket and just paint that in there, so that we've got a basic triangle. Now we're going to go over here to the jumble tool, and this is really what's very nice and powerful with this, where if I click and drag, it starts to jumble the edge, and that is really awesome and also really useful. And then you can just repaint that back. Just zoom in and make sure there wasn't anything that we're missing. There we go. So it gives this very nice jumbled edge, which is very, very useful for certain things. We've also got a blur tool, which you can kind of see gives it a little bit of different shading, which can depend on whatever project that you're working on, where it can do different shading. If we just fill this back, you can see it kind of smooths out the edge almost. So that's a general overview of ASEPRITE. So now we're going to look at a little bit more of the in-depth stuff. If I press N, you can see new frame appeared there, and we're also on frame 2. Let's just make a simple change to this, like just scribble over that. Using the arrow keys, you can jump between these frames, or pressing Enter will toggle the preview mode, basically, where it will do, by default, 10 frames per second, whatever your animation was that you drew. So let's just undo that. I'm going to remove that frame, so back on frame 1, and we're just going to do that. And then we're going to do N for new frame, and we're going to do the blur tool, and we're going to just blur a little bit here, and paint bucket the last 2 bits there, and then N, and then blur. There. So now we've got a basic animation, and if we play that, you can kind of see that it kind of makes this weird strobing effect. And that's just, a simple example of what it can do. And I'm sure you're wondering what the export options are. So you can do some saving, and you can also do a save copy as. And what you can do is, you can select PNG, and it will by default use the file name, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., however many frames you have going up, which is very nice and useful. So that's an overview of ASEPRITE, or Allegro Sprite Editor, or ASE. And so, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!